Welcome back. Doing another one today, and today we're going to look at why the lone wolf mindset is or ideology is destroying men or young men. All right, a pretty interesting topic because social media pushes this. You've heard it everywhere, like cut off everyone, trust no one, grind in silence, be the lone wolf kind of narrative. But here's the truth that no one tells you, right? Well, I won't say no one. There's a few people. But lone wolves die first. In nature, if you're without a pack, you die first as a wolf, right? So the mindset isn't making men stronger, it's making them isolated, right? To become bitter and broken. Um, you can see that throughout society, there's examples everywhere now of things happening that's from men that have been isolated, broken, and just become bitter and resentful, right? So, like in this video, I'm gonna break down the truth behind the lone wolf ideology. Like, why is it toxic, for men, and like what we should embrace rather than the lone wolf, right? So let's just jump into it. So the first part is like, why is it so popular, right? Part one, why it's so popular. So the internet glorifies, as I said, isolated isolation as strength. The They push the narrative of, you know the, like if you look at John Wick and all of them, they are all kind of, yeah, they're badass. It works in movies, but it doesn't work in real life. They are all like depressed, isolated, you know, depressing people in a sense. Like if you look at their mood, right, they're not really fun to be around. Put it that way. Um, so the internet and the movies, Hollywood or whatever, they glorify this. But guys are also hurt, or men are hurt. They are betrayed, or have this real lack of real connections. And so the idea of cutting off everyone makes it feel safe for them. They think it's a safer route. Sorry. And it's marketed like strength, or no distractions, no weakness, all grind, right? Like monk mode in a sense, um, which is good. In We'll go into that with the sovereign man, right? And stoicism. Like, most of them are using this as a crutch. Stoicism, where it's not actually stoicism. What it is a emotional repression or emotional shutdown. You're cutting off your emotions in a sense. You're not dealing with them. You're masking them. It's actually putting on a plaster onto the problem. So like, because a man who doesn't trust anyone is just a man who never healed, in the sense of trusting other men, right? Then let's go into the part two. Part two is problems with the lone wolf ideology, or lone wolf thinking, right? Like, there's a few problems. So number one, kills connection. So it makes you super weak as a man, right? Because you have no community. There are no mentors. You have no emotional support, no support in general, right? This is very bad for men. Men need a brotherhood. They need a tribe. They need guys that push them. Um, get more into that. So like they need, I said, tribe, a community. They need mentors, people that will teach them, show them the way. Um, you need men that are in your corner. That, like, if something happens and you need that emotional support, they're there. Uh, it creates a false stoicism, as I said. It's one of the problems of this thinking is it bottles up your emotions. You keep bottling it up until your health collapses or your mental health collapses. So that's not a good thing. Resentment. It breeds resentment. The lone wolf ideology puts you as a I versus everyone, right? You see the world as an enemy, Right? There's no allies, there's no one in your corner, kind of thing. And then the next one is it stunts growth, like massively stunts your growth because you have no competition, you have no competitiveness, you have no mirrors, you have no feedback, and no evolution. Right? You don't evolve because you have no one to bounce ideas off or to mirror after. Um, and like the things that work. You don't have feedback like, oh, okay, this is working, this isn't working. There's no feedback in it, and then you're not pushed to evolve because you're stuck in your own echo chamber. You don't evolve past yourself in a sense. And then another thing that this does is it, or the problem with this thinking is it blocks leadership. And what do I mean by that? You can't lead if there is no one else to lead. If you walk alone, you can't lead because that's just you're leading yourself then basically, which is good. You should lead yourself, but I mean you can't lead others because there is no one. So strength isn't being alone. Strength is being solid and connected. That is true strength in this context. So then let's go to part three. Part three is the lone wolf versus the sovereign man. And I'm just going to break down into like a clear format of versing each other. So like you got the lone wolf, right? And you're going to look at his traits compared to the sovereign man's traits. So let's start with trait number one is mindset. The mindset of a lone wolf is distrustful and avoidant, right? He's an avoidant man. Whereas the sovereign man, he is grounded. He's grounded. He's okay with himself. He's able to discerning. He can discern things. He's comfortable. He doesn't have to avoid anything. He can connect. Then you've got emotional health. Let's put it emotional health. So a lone wolf, for his emotional health, he's repressed his emotions. He's become kind of numb to them and disconnected, which is not a good thing because your body is sending you signals. Emotions are indicators of things that are happening, and you need to work on them, investigate them. So and then the sovereign man, which is the opposite of it, is he is aware, resilient, emotionally intelligent. He can understand. Okay, I have these emotions that are happening. Um, okay, what do I need to do with them? What does this mean? He in a situation, he's emotionally intelligent. He knows how to navigate situations with obvious emotions. Relationships. The next part is relationships. So the lone wolf is often he's isolated, and he avoids building bonds with other men. Whereas the sovereign man, he chooses a tribe, and then he starts to in that tribe he chooses or he creates a tribe, and in that tribe he tries to or he builds deep connections with everyone, like really truly deep connections, not superficial connections. And then independence. This is also a lot of people mislabel. So like the lone wolf is hyper independent. But what they miss is it's trauma. It's a trauma response. It's not exactly his choice. It's masking the pains or the traumas that he's had. It's a response to that trauma. Whereas if you look at the sovereign man, he chooses it. He chooses to be independent, but he's self-led and independent. But he does not avoid depending on others. But he can navigate by himself in a sense. Then you have growth. And as I said earlier, the lone wolf stagnates in an echo chamber because you have no one that is pushing you, no one that is giving you feedback. So you're stuck in an echo chamber. And the sovereign man, he evolves through that feedback, through the challenges of other men challenging him and learning and growing, building those connections and seeing different perspectives. He evolves through that. And when you have a solid tribe, they are going to call you on your bullshit. They're going to tell you, like, okay, this is not okay. This was a bit not called for. Work on it a bit, right? When you're a lone wolf, you don't. No one's going to tell you this. Leadership. The next trait is leadership. So we know the lone wolf avoids others. So he is a lone crusader. So he has no leadership. He cannot do leadership. He cannot lead a group. He cannot lead, right? Whereas a sovereign man, he leads himself first, and obviously, and then he can lead others, and not just lead them, but he leads with clarity. He leads them with honesty and direction and connection. Then vision, which ties into the leadership, is vision. So the lone wolf just has this survive alone vision, whereas the sovereign man, he builds a legacy with others, right? He builds out legacies, or the legacy he wants, with other people. Because we know humans are social creatures. So you weren't meant to walk alone. You were meant to walk with power, and having other men and other tribes connected with you and being a sovereign man essentially is walking with power. So, comment down and like be honest. Have you fallen into the lone wolf trap? Like are you isolated, or are you building your tribe or building things with others? So like start building your inner circle. Start there. Start building your inner circle. Start leading yourself like a man who knows he's not just surviving. He's creating something that lasts, something that can continue his legacy. So that is that. Yeah, that's the lone wolf ideology, or what's wrong with the lone wolf thinking. So, like, if you're ready to drop that lone wolf mask and become a sovereign man, that's exactly what I am trying to build or help men to be, and make a community, a tribe of men that pick each other up and build this sovereign man mindset. Right? So, click the link below and do the questionnaire, and maybe see you on the other side. Cheers. See you next time.